outside can be traumatic. Once you do escape, you really are on your own. For former cult members, it can take years to recover. Escaping a cult can be like leaving the security of marriage or a family. Some return to their lives after decades of cultic indoctrination, but for others born into a cult, it can be all they've ever known.
She was pregnant and I didn't know about it. And my father kept it a secret, so he changed the name on the birth certificate's father unknown. Child's now 16. So I do feel the pain, knowing that all I have to do is live in the hope that she knows that we love her out here and that she has a family out here. It's tough. And I wasn't prepared to leave one behind. And I have. One behind. That's the devastation and the pain that my father has caused. But I have to live in the hope that one day she will have the freedom that her brothers and sisters have had. She's 16 and who knows, hopefully she can be a bit of a rebel like I was. If she's got anything on me in her, she might, break free, run away. And I always think about the day, and I think about it all the time when this phone call, when I get a phone call and say, "Hey, Dad, come and get me, come and get me." What person or organisation should rob someone of that joy? Her brothers and sisters have been robbed of knowing a sister. I've been robbed of the joy of a daughter. Because of why? Because my father wants to, make a law, or wants to come in and try to destroy our family. That's when you know it's wrong.
Leaving the certainty and support of a group for the absolute uncertainty of the outside world can be cripplingly traumatic.
One of the things that extremist religious groups give you is absolute certainty. You move from inside the cult out of it, and you're just swimming. You've got nothing certain to stand on. You've got to, at the same time, deal with the fact that you've been lied to all this time. It's a massively long process to let go of this firm foundation and move on to shifting sands.
When the place broke up and I took my scarf off, I thought, I'm going to get struck by lightning. God's going to deal with me because I've taken my scarf off. It's like going through a death. You've lost 20-odd years of your life. You realise you've been conned, which is a big point. You've lost your youth, you've lost money, you've lost your identity.
So that leaves you feeling very empty and very hurt and betrayed. And the disillusionment with that is huge. You've been lied to about something really deeply important. And I believe that the people I knew that suicided reached that place and didn't make it.
As well as feeling betrayed and ripped off, leaving can also drag up feelings of guilt and remorse, as your actions within the group no longer make sense in the clear light of day.
This guy had suicided, and I was asked by the Department of Special Affairs, could I go to the funeral? We've got to keep a lid over the suicide. We needed to make sure that Scientology wasn't brought up or the media wasn't involved in this guy's death. My voice of conscience was saying, you should not be spying at people's funerals. It's just wrong.
The dead man's family blamed Scientology for his suicide. However, the church says he had not been a member for 2 years and was a drug user. A leader initially denied sending staff to the funeral, but now says he did because of threats made to him by family members.
What a waste! guy was a Scientologist, and there are people that don't even know he died in that group. That's how secretive Scientology is. Just need forgiveness on this. I know it seems like a small thing, but it wasn't. There's no excuse. I feel I owe that family an apology. I really do. It was wrong. This is the tip of the iceberg. If you use silence, you can hide abuse. And this is just a small symptom of something much greater. Much, much greater.
I think deep down inside, I really, really honestly thought I was helping to save the planet. I thought, this is the answer. We can rid the world of war, poverty, famine, greed through Scientology. It was just a big con.
That's basically you start your life again. New friends, get to know new people and all that. And that's when it really started opening our eyes up. Like, man, these people they're not worldlies at all, you know, they're just like anybody else. Everybody else, we just got on real well, you know. I got heaps of mates now, and that's awesome.
We really came out of the commune with nothing, right, really having to start again. So I do feel like there's been a bit of a setback in my life. But at the same time, I look at my friends and my peers, and I don't feel that I am stunted or anything. What kind of saddens me is that none of my generation, although I don't know one kid that escaped abuse, has pressed charges, has stood up, has said anything about it, and that's quite sad to me.
I wish that I hadn't been involved. I wish that I had used that 5 years of my life at a very, early 20s to have done something useful.
It's sort of embarrassing that you'd be involved with it for that long when the evidence was there, and 20 minutes of just inspecting the facts would have alerted me to the fact that I shouldn't have got involved. So I'm always regretful that it took me so long to discover that. But Scientology takes advantage of your good nature. It takes advantage of the fact that you are somebody that wants to help other people and you want to alleviate misery in this world. And that makes it so sinister in my view.
People say to me, "Oh, you're going to go to hell if you leave the brethren, you go to hell." I would like to say I've lived through hell. I've been there, I've experienced it. Quite frankly, I'm in heaven now.
As you have seen, even a harmless Bible group can transform into a dangerous gun cult. If you are considering joining a faith-based organisation, it is important you learn to recognise the cultic danger signs.
Do you see love bombing? Do you see time control? Do you see information control? Do you see everyone acting the same? Do you see everyone dressing to be successful or dressing in a certain way? These are all warning signs. You need to look up on the internet about the group. Take your time getting involved, because there are good groups out there. There are good churches, there are good organisations, and we don't want to do anything that stops you getting involved in those. But what we want is for you to be aware of the danger signals in these groups so that you don't get involved in the first place.
During periods of great religious upheaval, such as we're going through at the moment, where a lot of the institutionalised religions seem to be dropping off in their societal influence, you can expect that there'll be more people seeking alternative religions. Now the leaders will prey on this.